Well, is Trump going to be it? That's what I want to talk about today. This is going to be an interesting year. Welcome to American Reversion. For those of you who are new, it's good to have you. Make sure that you subscribe, and everybody make sure, because you know YouTube is playing with some of these channels. Make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notification every time I put a new one up. Give us a thumbs up if you would. Tell us you like it. That helps the algorithm, they tell me. And leave a comment if you like, and then share it. That's one of the most important things you can do, is to share this video with people that who feel like you or that you think ought to hear it, and that would be great. I want to talk today about well, what is the overlooming subject this year, right? 2024. What else could we concentrate on? And that is the coming presidential election. Not just the presidential election, but all the down tickets, the Senate and the House, and a lot of the local races. But the big one, of course, is the presidential election of 2004, be coming up on us in about 10 months. And I don't think, you hear this all the time. Every election, everybody's going to say, Hannity and everybody's going to say, this is the most important election of my lifetime. I have never really said that, but I will say it about this one. This election will determine the future of our country. Whether we're going to be able to take some things back and start to kind of right this ship, or whether it's going to go completely under. I don't think there has ever been an election that had, for a variety of reasons, that has ever had the potential to have that drastic difference in this. So I want to talk about that. First, I'll say a couple of things here. Steve Bannon just put up something on his Rumble channel saying that they're trying to get Nikki Haley onto the ticket with President Trump. That, what a disaster. What a moron that person is. First off, I said this yesterday, and I'll say it repeatedly, nobody on that stage that are conducting those little phony make-believe debates for the Republican nomination, right? None of them deserve to be anything in a Trump administration. None of them, let alone vice president. She is a snake. Most of them. I won't say that DeSantis is a snake, and I forget all the rest. I won't say that Vivek is. I don't know. Christie's a snake. Nikki Haley's a snake. So they're trying. This is the kind of junk that goes on behind the scenes. We'll hope that doesn't happen. The next thing, hey, the WEF, it ought to be the WWF. WEF, World Economic Forum, is planning their 2024 meeting in Davos, Switzerland. How many of y'all going? No, me neither. So they are saying, this is a Breitbart article. You can find it there, but I'll put the link to it over when I put this one on the Patreon channel. So the headline here is WEF says Davos 2024 meeting of the globalist elites, all about trust. Oh yeah, and it has a picture of our Bond villain there. In front of the WEF logo, and of course their subheading is the World Economic Forum committed to improving the state of the world. Thank goodness somebody is, right? That's the way a lot of people think. We'll start off with it. It says at the World Economic Forum annual conclave of globalist elites in Davos, Switzerland later this month, organizers say one word is going to be central to the event. Who wants to guess what that word is? Control, slavery? No, trust. Trust. Yes. The WEF has released a partial outline of just what is on the agenda at its most closed-door 54th annual meeting. It says it will, quote, provide a crucial space to focus on the fundamental principles driving trust, including transparency. Transparency out of a secret meeting. I like that. Consistency, yeah, they're consistent in their desire to ruin our country and the world. And accountability, well, we know who's accountable for that, right? Okay, The introduction goes on to detail that government officials from all over the world will be there alongside other unelected representatives from groups interested in shaping the world of tomorrow. Yeah, we know who they are, don't we? A couple more things I'll hit here before I go on. Excuse me. This annual meeting will welcome over 100 governments, all major international organizations, 1,000 forums partners, as well as civil society leaders, experts. I like that. Experts. They got to invite some experts. Youth representatives, social entrepreneurs, and news outlets. The WEF boasted on its dedicated online site. Well, okay, so, and then I see then on a headline here from Breitbart London, a tweet, or do we call it an X now? Is it not a tweet, or is that, I don't know. It says, demand for prostitutes spikes in Davos as World Economic Forum begins. Yes, we know it's always about money, power, and sex, isn't it? It reminds me of something I used to, and most of you know that I was in law enforcement for quite a while, and I worked undercover. Excuse me, just half a second. I had to get rid of that morning thaw. I'm gonna take another sip of my morning out of the Mary Stonemont Christmas mug. Hope you all had a good Christmas, by the way. Merry Christmas, and starting out on a good New Year. But this reminds me of something. Like I started to say, many of you know that I was in law enforcement for quite a while, and that I worked undercover, and I also ran undercover informants, shall I say. One of my major ones was a prostitute, very high class. She ran an escort service. She told me that the busiest time that all of the hookers in Kansas City went on their vacation in a certain month, a certain week period or something like that. I don't remember what it was. She says the reason was that was immediately following the convention of the Southern Baptists in Kansas City. And she said they all went on vacation after that convention, left town because all the hookers were tired and had a lot of money. Okay. Yeah, such as politics, right? I said along. So let's get at this subject today. Trump, is he going to be the nominee? If he is, what does that mean? Okay. Wow, this is really. Sorry, my throat is really getting there. I said, well, let me back up. Every time they indict him, right, he gets more support. He is blowing everybody out of the water. Okay, there's not a single Republican who can give him a run for the money. The other side, they're trying like the dickens to keep him out of the. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. They're doing everything they can to keep him off the ballot, out of the race, because they're afraid that he will beat Biden. Of course, he will beat Biden in a real vote, right? Of course. Does everybody remember back when the last time when he was filling auditoriums with overflow standing in the streets? People lined up for miles along roads just to wave at him and wave a flag, and then we'd see stumbles, and he couldn't get 15 people to come to him, and yet he became the most popular, most votes in history. Right? You all know this, okay? Well, I said a long time ago, and this is an indictment of our voting population, that if the Democrats ran either Michelle Obama or Oprah, they would win hands down. Hands down. They would blow Trump out of the water. Why? Well, first off, they'd get almost all of the black vote. More and more of the black vote is seeing the light And the Democrats are losing. Every year they lose a little bit of the black vote because more and more blacks are seeing the truth of things, right? They're not believing the Democrat lies anymore as much, but still enough of them are. I don't remember what it was last time. It was 90, it's still 90 some percent of the black vote just goes Democrat. They can't tell you why. They will tell you what I was taught as a child, and that is Democrats are for the little people. Republicans are greedy. They're only for the rich people. See, people still believe that. Too many. Not people who work hard for a living, but, there's enough that do believe it. So they will get almost all the black vote. They will get the majority of the female vote, right? It's still white females that vote in. I'm sorry for all you, and not the white females that watch this. I know you all are right. You all are good. Too many of your sisters are voting for the Democrats. Why? Because the Democrats sound like they care. They wrap a piece of dog poop in a thin layer of chocolate, and make the first lick tasty, and people, they bite on it, right? And so they sell this feel good, looks good. We want to help people, and the people who don't pay attention, who just respond emotionally to this, well, they want to help. I like their message, and I don't like the way that Trump acts. I don't like the way he treats women. I don't like this, and I don't like that about him. Doesn't matter that he brought energy independence, a booming economy, great jobs, respect around the world. Doesn't matter any of that. None of that matters to the liberal white women who are voting for the Democrat Party. None of it matters, because the Democrats will say things that sound nice to them. And they don't have either the intelligence or the time or the energy or the willingness to dig down deep and actually learn what's going on and make a decision for themselves. You see, this is how the ignorant run our country. Our elections, and you can say all you want about, well, they're selected, they're not elected, but too many of our elections have been decided by the ignorant. Why? Look at any news program the night before a national election, right? Some news person will be out there in the street with a microphone going up to people. Who are you going to vote for? And how many do you hear say, I haven't decided yet? And there's this very imperious way that makes them look thoughtful, right? I haven't decided. I'm still waiting to see what they have to say. Who has something to say that will really grab me? This faux intellectualism, that is a thinly veiled, deep ignorance and laziness, makes them look so thoughtful, so superior. What it means is, everybody who's running has a long history. You can look at their history of what they've done. But no, this guy on the street who's just so thoughtful and so intelligent, well, I don't know. I'm just waiting for someone to say something that really makes me want to vote for him. You idiot. And yet these are the idiots that are affecting our elections. Okay? That's who is running the country. Idiots are enabling traitors. Okay, that's it. That's how this country is swirling down the communist toilet. So anyway, for you all, you good women out there, try to break through the shell of your sisters and let them know. Okay, I'll get back on track. So, yes, if they ran either Oprah or Michelle Obama, they would win because of the ignorance of the American voters. However, they seem to be working so hard against Trump, it makes me wonder whether they actually think they're going to be running Biden again. I know a lot of people say, no, they have these big plans. They're not going to run Biden. Well, that's opinion. You don't know that. But it's the old changing horses in the middle of the stream. And it's not changing the decision makers. We know the decision makers are behind Biden. As long as they've got something they can prop up. I mean, if they've got a cardboard cutout of him up there, half the country will still vote for him, right? So they don't care. They just want to make sure that they do enough damage to Trump. Okay, so that's leading up. And I know we've got a whole year to talk about how we want to affect the election, and we do. The first step, though, is realizing at this point, the 2nd of January, we want to affect the election. We want to affect the elections locally, statewide, and national. We'll see if we can do it. It all depends on how hard our side works. But Steve, it doesn't matter how hard we work. All that matters is that they're going to, you know what, right? I don't even think I can say that on, I can't even say anything on here, or, you know what I mean. Okay, you're smart, you know what I mean. Well, let me tell you this. I used to train fighters. I used to train MMA fighters. And we always had problems with referees. Okay. Hey, I guess the Chiefs are having some problems with referees too. Some for, some against, I don't know. But the referees always want to be, and this is the problem you run into if you were in the fight game, the martial arts, or you competed, the referees want to be the stars. See, the ones who are not doing it, not doing the fighting, they want to be the stars, they want to be in control. And so the more complicated they can make the rules, the more they like it. And I don't know how many guys I had have so many bad calls against them in a fight, and they would complain about it. There's an old story about how people got, won tournaments by being knocked out. And I'll tell you exactly how that happened. You go out, and there was a rule that if you used excessive force, this is usually in point karate. Well, if you used excessive force, the guy you knocked out got a point, a penalty point, meaning you were penalized, which gave him a point. Okay, so somebody could actually win the grand championship by being knocked out by enough people. Well, I used to tell my fighters, I said, look, there's 3 ways to win a match. You can knock them out, you can submit them, choking them out, or on points. If you're relying on points to win a match, you are relying on referees who just want to be the star. Okay, and so if you're winning on points, don't whine if you lose. Knock them out. Knock them out or choke them out. And then there's not going to be any question. If you are winning on points, you didn't beat the guy bad enough. Okay? I'll give you just a second to think about that. So, what happens if Trump gets in? Let's leap right forward. He's the only one on the Republican side that has a chance to do it. None of the others do. They're all a bunch of losers. So it's going to be Trump. Going to be Trump. Has he learned? Here's the question that I have, and I bet a lot of you have it too. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Has he learned his lesson? He was a major disappointment to me and many others in his first term because of the choices he made in some of his leadership. A lot of us couldn't understand why he kept on holding on to these people who obviously were working against him. Did he really not understand how deep the deep state is, or the swamp, however you want to put it? Did he really not understand that? Was he not the judge of character most of us thought he would be, being a businessman? And when you're a businessman in New York, you got to be a politician too. You know the levers behind the scenes because you pull some, right? Did he really not understand that? I don't know. But the big question is has he learned his lesson? So let's think about a Trump win. If he wins, there's going to be more legal fighting in this election than ever before. Well, let's just say that he comes out the winner. Will he have learned his lesson? Will he go after this the way he ought to? Will he square things away the way he really started getting things squared away the time before? And will he do it fast enough and hard enough to have the effect that we need? Will he? I don't know. He's our only hope, so we have to hope for that. And I know that hope is not a plan, but hope is hope. And when hope's all you got, that's what you got, right? Our plan has to be to get him in. And then, is 4 years going to be enough to do it? And the answer, of course, is no. 4 years is not going to be enough to right this ship. There's no way. But it might be a start. It might be a start. And then it's completely up to who comes in next. And it's not going to be any of the ones that are on that stage right now. Even DeSantis. No, I don't think, DeSantis blew it big time. He had a lot of people supporting him. And I thought, and even though he kind of talks with this, and he doesn't have a commanding demeanor, and that's what you need in a president. But, when he came back and ran against a guy who was responsible for putting him in the governorship in Florida, that showed me that he's disloyal and he can't be trusted. And I know he's done a lot of things with which I agree, and probably a lot of you agree with too. But no, that shows me that he's not. He jumped in before his time. What he needed was another term or two down in Florida. He needed to develop. He needed to mature. He needed to strengthen himself, and he needed a voice coach to make him sound more like a man. And then maybe, but now he blew it forever, as far as I'm concerned. So who would come behind Trump? That's probably a subject for a different video. I'll save that. So if Trump gets in, will he do what it takes? Will he come in with a vengeance? Will he clean house? And I mean fast enough and hard enough. I hope so. He said something similar to what I always told my when I trained young cops. I said, don't ever let anybody swing on you. And I would tell this to my people that I trained in martial arts too. If anybody swings on you, I won't be graphic here like I was with them. You respond in such a way that they will never dream of ever trying that again, and that the story will spread so no one else who hears the story will either. Okay, plain enough. Trump said something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but if he's right, if he means it, then that's what he needs to do. He needs to go in, with both boots landing on the people they need to land on, and take care of stuff. Somebody posited the possibility of Ben Carson. I think that's a good one. And other people have said Kristi Noem out of South. Both of those are going after. Those are political decisions. They're going after. One is the black vote, and the other is the female vote. Kristi Noem's a lot smarter, a lot better. I have some. I don't know. There was an issue with her that I'm not going to get into right here because, as far as I know, it's just rumor, and we're not going to do that. But it's going to depend on. He needs to select somebody who is strong, and will continue his agenda beyond his term. Okay, that's what we need to do, because we can't be changing. It needs to be just like George Bush the first. The only reason he got in is because people were hoping for a third Reagan term, right? And he was a big disappointment. We know why. So he needs to find somebody who's strong, that people who will put him in office will have faith is going to continue the agenda, not Trump's agenda, our agenda. He's the one trying to do the job we want done. Okay? He's not our savior. He's supposed to be our employee, doing what we need done. I just happen to think that he has the same feelings that most of us do, as far as the love of our country and wanting to get it back on the right track. That's my opinion. So we will see. We will see. If he doesn't get back in, or like I say, if they run Oprah or Michelle, it's over. But if he doesn't get back in, I believe this country, as a country, is over as far as being what it was supposed to be. Okay, then we are that snowball is gaining speed and size, and it is rolling down the commie hill until it rolls over all of us. There is no coming back, in my opinion. There is no coming back from a Trump loss in 24, at least to the extent that any of us would want to be a part of. Okay. That's why it's important that we work for a reversion. We want to take America back to the way it should be. And what we each have to do is to work locally. Okay, you can do it. You can influence your friends. You can, not all of them. I mean, you probably got some hard-headed friends like I do, right? You're not going to, you can influence the reasonable ones. And here, I'll put in something here, and I probably need to make a whole video on this. You're going to find some people, yes, in your social circle, friends, family, whatever, who are just so hard-headed that you can't even talk to them, right? Well, don't. Don't, because I'll tell you what, even if they agree with you, they are going to repulse other people they talk to. I'm going to be doing a sermon on the church channel about repulsive Christians. Believers who, through their behavior, drive people away from Christianity. I should make one on here too. Repulsive conservatives. Those people who believe in the right things, but whose behavior is so rude and repulsive that they drive people away. So they think they're I'm just telling it like it is. Here's what I think. But people who are trying to decide who to vote for are repulsed by their behavior, and so they're going to go with Biden because Biden's, just he says nice things. So make sure, the way we win these things is by being reasonable, by presenting our positions and opinions in a reasonable, thoughtful manner, in conversation, not yelling at each other, okay, and in a way that will persuade. You can't force somebody to feel a certain way. You can persuade them, and that's where we have to put our energy. Okay? All right. Well, let me know what you think in the comments. I put some things over on the Patreon channel for those of you who are with us over there. If you're not, I always put the link down below. Feel free to come join us. Please, again, leave a comment. It helps the algorithm. We want to build this channel. Give me a thumbs up if you would, if you liked what I said, or if you just want to help the channel. Make sure that you're subscribed so that you and hit the bell so it rings all the time, right? And so that you get a notice of every time I put a new one up here. I'm going to try to put one up every day. That's my goal. It's not my promise, it's my goal. I want to. We'll see how it goes. And please share it. Please share it. Because we need as many people on board as possible. As many people thinking, as many people spreading the message, as many people being aware of what's going on, so that if the election works out the way we want to, good. We've got a lot of support there. If it goes another way, well, we've got a big voice, and we'll see how we use it if that happens. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. I'll be interested to hear your comments and share it. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.